Extinction Rebellion. A year ago, they seemed to come out of nowhere.
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Activists, agitators,
We're taking this airport!
fighting for what they say is nothing less than the future of the planet. So who are they really? How far are they willing to go? And do their actions help the rest of the world to listen? Meet the people set on changing everything. It's 4 a.m. in central London.
I'm like a 5'12".
Okay.
Extinction Rebellion has a wide range of targets. What's got this group out of bed early is London Fashion Week. The phone numbers on their arms are in case of arrest, and there's fake blood as a prop. This is Samantha Smithson, a fashion designer gone rogue.
Put glue on our hands right now, like before we get there, and then as soon as we get there, just do it. A thin layer, I think, is needed.
Time for the show to begin.
Run. Wait, guys, can you move this way, please? Oh, I'm glued on, I can't move.
London Fashion Week, you are a joke. There's nothing stylish about killing our planet.
The police decide on a hands-off approach.
If I could facilitate what we want to do in any way, then let me know.
The struggle against global warming can be hard work. Eventually, the activists conclude they've made their point. It is, after all, cold.
Yeah, we were freezing, but at the end of the day, the message is more important than anything else.
Extinction Rebellion members vary in their willingness to risk arrest, and Roman paluch-machnik, who's just attended court, is a committed, even zealous activist.
One of the strategies of Extinction Rebellion is obviously to long out the court process as well and try to jam up all these institutions, the police force to use up their resources on us, and the same with the legal system, to make them feel the effects of our protests as heavily as possible.
Roman wasn't always an environmentalist. In fact, he used to work in an office and enjoyed flying around the world. But he always felt something was missing until he joined Extinction Rebellion and was converted.
It kind of took me to like a little back room, and they were like, right, okay, so Roman, we need you to glue your hands to the door of a government department. And yeah, I myself again, do you know what I mean? After I kind of already felt like I made this big step in saying that like I was willing to be arrested. And they're like, cool, we've got some plans for you to get arrested if you want to do that. For all of this kind of crisis situation, there is a clear pathway to a better way out, which is non-violent civil disobedience. And it has historical precedent, and people have done it time and again. These huge, important figures that we all know, like Gandhi and Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, all these people that like paved the way for what we're trying to do. If we continue just to abide by all the rules and let everything roll on as it is, yeah, the consequences will be huge.
This building here, the conference centre.
Comparisons with Gandhi might strike some as a bit of a stretch. But a surprising range of people have joined Extinction Rebellion's ranks.
There'll be lots going on. If some people could take the big banner.
This group of doctors are targeting the Department for Business and Energy.
I think that the main outcome from this is going to be photographic.
Before he retired, Dr. Bing Jones was, for many years, a law-abiding consultant haematologist from Yorkshire.
We're in a state of denial. We are destroying our planet, and doctors are a caring and scientifically literate group. And so we want to go and make a big splash.
Taking a slow breath in.
Time to focus the mind.
And releasing.
Extinction Rebellion even has its own version of a prayer.
Let's remember our love for this precious planet, which nourishes and sustains all of life. Remember its majestic beauty, its forests, its mountains, its valleys, and the waters of the rivers and the vast oceans.
It's a short walk to the department, but long enough for an explanation about how Extinction Rebellion actually works.
The idea is that people can do whatever they like as long as it's within the principles of Extinction Rebellion. And self-organising systems and self-organising groups are a key part of the whole thing. The downside is that it can be chaotic. It's very much a mixed bag, and it's rather marvellous.
The group finds the right building and then goes for it. It's not long before the police arrive.
How you doing? Hiya.
You're right.
I'm a bit worried about the climate, but apart from that, I'm fine.
Yeah. What was your name? I don't even know your name.
Well, my name is No Comment, but thank you very much for asking.
Fine. It's just I've got, at least got a name to
The name is Comment. No Comment.
Eventually, Bing is unglued, then arrested.
Thank you very much.
It's exactly what he wanted.
Thank you. Oh, it's a real achievement. We've done good work today. Well done.
Protesters, you can resist however you'd like. I wouldn't recommend thrashing about, maybe.
Non-violent direct action training for new Extinction Rebellion members.
What you do is against the law and you might be arrested. You don't want a lawsuit.
Alright. You're going to need to let go of the handbench seat.
There we go. No lawsuits for us. Come on.
This is a training for the October Rebellion, an elaborate and dramatic plan to shut down London for 2 weeks.
Alright. Thank you very much, guys. How do we feel about that exercise?
19-year-old Daisy Wyatt is leading the workshop.
You're faced with a very real concept of, I'm going to be arrested right now. And that can be scary.
Daisy was working as a nanny when she came across an Extinction Rebellion protest in April earlier this year. That event brought London grinding to a halt and inspired her to join the fight for radical changes, not just a dramatic drop in carbon emissions, but a shift away from consumerism and the trappings of modern living.
The only reasons I liked all this exuberance and all this fast cars and big houses is because I was told that that was what I should want in life and that would make everyone happy. But if that's at the expense of someone else's livelihood and someone else's life, then I don't want it. We're off to Miles's house at the moment, which is serving as a kind of art centre for the October Rebellion at the moment. So they've got some really amazing stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the art group, and so I sort of work pretty much full-time on the kind of art and design of Extinction Rebellion. But now we're in like the run-up to a major event. My house becomes like an art factory. So it's full of people who I dearly love, but it does get slightly frustrating at times.
Despite that, in Extinction Rebellion, the art matters.
We're trying to sort of show more about what we're about as a movement. And we are non-violent, first of all. And we are about sort of trying to create a new society. So there's lots of messaging like that going on at the moment.
But before the October Rebellion starts, Daisy needs to go home to Shrewsbury to visit her mum.
Flags to say this is not a drill.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Natalie's watched how her daughter's changed in the past 6 months.
And then shortly after that, it went pink.
Yeah. And then orange.
And then orange.
It was orange for a bit.
And then you cut it even shorter.
Yeah.
More tattoos. A nose ring.
I attended musical theatre college and I was hoping to reapply to musical theatre university. But yeah, I realised that as much as I love that and as much as that's important to me, it's not important on a larger scale if everything else that's happening continues to happen.
Natalie, what do you think of all this?
That's a big question. I'm very proud of her. I always have been with whatever she's done, really. So I worry. But it's just because she's my girl. That's all, really. So, yeah. And I don't, you know, I think that when you have your children, you have great dreams and aspirations for them, but all they can do is be happy, and I've never seen her this happy, which sounds ridiculous considering that, you know, there's a crisis going on, but she's never, I don't think she's ever seemed more her before, really. Thank you.
Time to head back to London.
Can you come in? So, this is the Extinction Rebellion office.
Preparations for October intensify at the Extinction Rebellion headquarters in Bethnal Green. It's funded entirely by donations, and there's enough cash to pay many of the volunteers their expenses. Sophie Tate gave up her job in advertising to help.
I think that's one of the big jobs of media messaging, is making it clear exactly who the people are within it, and they're not a bunch of white middle class hippies, although I probably am pretty much exactly that.
Angie Zelter may be both white and middle class, but she knows what she's doing.
I've been arrested and been to prison many times before.
What's it like?
It's fine. In this country, we don't get tortured. We do get some food. We get an hour's exercise outside in the fresh air. So compared to what most people have in the world to suffer, absolutely nothing. I don't know why people are so scared of it.
Roman is finalising his plans, and he isn't worried at all about annoying people.
I think it's an explicit aim to polarise the public. So it's
That's what you want to do?
Yeah, because you want to force a conversation on these issues, because currently, as I say, there's nobody that is making people take a side. There's nobody who is trying to do something radical that is going to polarise people.
With 12 protest sites across central London, that's exactly what will happen. The October Rebellion is just days away.
This is day one, this is the start of it all. It's a little bit calm here, but we're in the back streets, so yeah, it's all kicking off right now in Westminster.
Please leave the bridge, you will be arrested!
From a cafe nearby, Roman paluch-machnik and his team coordinate the action. They use disposable phones to communicate.
Have you got rebel riders checking out what's going on there?
And they're convinced they're being watched.
Indra just messaged to say, shall we move down to the roundabout?
News comes of a failed attempt to shut down a road.
We'll test the contingency plan, see if it works.
Right. They've got Millbank, I think the Mall, Horse Guards Parade, and now Trafalgar Square's also potentially going to go in a minute. So here's the different sites, here's where they're at, and this is their kind of progress. So A is they've made it, that's plan A. Plan B is they've had to try and join another site, and then plan C is the backup sites that we've got. And that's just we're doing updates of where they are with the cyclists coming back and forth, telling us where everybody's at with their site take progress.
How's it going so far?
Seems pretty good, to be honest with you.
Roman leaves to check on what's going on himself. There's one site left to take, and it's the biggest one.
I've decided to help out my fellow rebels in taking the Trafalgar Square site. We're just waiting now for the sign to start blocking the other roads. I think one other road has been blocked. That'll be for us. Is it 5 minutes?
This is Daisy's first major rebellion.
I've got a nervous stomachache.
Then the man in the orange jacket gives the signal to move.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Extinction! These rebels are putting their liberty at stake for your life.
Extinction Rebellion believes in people power. But that can mean chaos and inconvenience for those not involved.
What do we want? When do we want it? Extinction!
For Daisy, it means jubilation.
Because I know that I'm surrounded by people like this.
Now the roads are blocked, the aim is to keep it that way.
Well, I mean, we've said 2 weeks, but we feel we have the resources to hold it, and the team and the effort and the will to, then we'll hold it for as long as we find necessary. As long as we feel it takes for us to be listened to. Yeah.
Roman arrives to speak to his team at Trafalgar Square.
It's actually just the start. It's not even like this is it now.
Well, you did it again, love.
We all did it again. It's the same thing every time. Like, nobody turns out at the beginning. Like, we're rebels, we come late to everything. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was like a bit quiet, but doing the loops around now, look, little things are popping up. You see the tape there with the flyers, and then we got the boxes coming up here. We got the scaffolding there as well. This is just one site. We got like another 7 of these going on at the same time right now. This is incredible. It's happened again, bigger and better, like it's mad.
It's the morning of day 2, and the police are allowing the disruption to continue for the moment. Daisy shows us around the camp.
This one's mine, this little guy. I won't tell you what's in it because of present company. I've got my pillows, sleeping bag. I got a mat as well, a roll mat.
They've made a mini city here, an example of what Extinction Rebellion calls regenerative culture.
This will be some kind of meditation circle. This is the Art Blockers tent where you can customise your clothes and stamp them with whatever you want. This is the Wellbeing Sanctuary. So we've got a little schedule up. We'll be quiet. There's a shed over there. I don't know quite what purpose it's serving yet, but it looks cool.
But later in the day, the weather turns, and with it, the mood. The pressure builds, and the police decide enough is enough. They start clearing the site, beginning with this one outside Downing Street. The operation continues long into the night. By the time it ends, around 500 people have been arrested. Back near their base in East London, Roman discusses the next stage of the October Rebellion. One of the group's demands is net zero carbon emissions by 2025. That's 25 years before the government's own goal. That makes aviation, and with it, the public's ability to fly, a top target.
City Airport is the transport kind of mass action day that we're going to be doing in the first week. So people were going down there en masse to occupy the terminal, kind of inspired by the recent protests in Hong Kong. Yeah, totally peacefully, non-violently, but just mass occupation of that terminal to highlight aviation.
But police are ready, determined to keep London City Airport open. Security is tight. Only passengers with a boarding pass are allowed in. Then the rebels strike.
We're taking this airport!
There's a gentleman who's climbed on top of the plane.
Really shaky, hate heights. I don't know how the hell I got up here. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get down again. I'm going to have to stop this live stream. I'm going to have to stop. I'm too scared.
So you're under arrest. You've also put it on your phone. So your phone's going to be seized.
We have 2 generations of human civilization left if we carry on doing what we're doing.
There's Dr. Bing Jones again, back in the thick of it.
I am ashamed of the fact that intelligent people such as myself, who are educated and who have privilege and power, do nothing. It is quite inexcusable.
Among some Extinction Rebellion members, breaking the law is considered a necessary sacrifice.
14 locks. They're not high quality locks.
The only way to confront what they say is a broken system.
We can block this bit.
Now it's Roman's turn to risk arrest again, this time at the airport.
The plan is that we are going to go and join the mass of people that are down at City Airport at the moment. I'm not quite sure how it's going with them, but we're going to go and join them through a more discreet kind of route on bicycles. We're going to try and block the private members' entrance. But I mean, we're imagining there's going to be police everywhere. We're just going to kind of play it by ear and see what happens, really.
Right down.
We're good, go. We're straight here.
That's it, mate. Right, so they've got glue. Come over here.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
People got the power.
People got the power.
Tell me, can you feel it?
Tell me, can you feel it?
Well, she tried to jump in front of the cab, you know. If I had hit her, I would have lost my licence and my living. All because of these.
Stop it, mate. I get one shoulder, mate.
What's your face?
Yeah, good.
Roman has achieved his aim. Later, he's released on bail and charged with blocking a public highway. Bing was also arrested again during the October Rebellion. And back at Trafalgar Square, Daisy is taken into custody too, released without charge before joining the protests again. They were just 3 among the nearly 2,000 people arrested during the Fortnight Rebellion, fighting, they say, to save the world. But that fight is proving controversial and divisive. This an example of commuters' anger at a protester stopping a London Underground train. Not everyone is willing or able to focus on Extinction's cause. Whether they are taking the people with them or not, Extinction Rebellion says it has given up asking nicely for change. A movement determined to alter the course of history, and with it, the way we live our lives.